But first, something caught my eye that I want to get into before the election business. Quickly, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, and that is Joe Biden. So, we all know that he's past his prime, and at times he's befuddled. And one of those times was yesterday. Roll the tape.
But I'd like to introduce to you now who will lead the way. I'm really proud of this group. For Secretary of Health and Education Service, I nominated Javier Becerra. Javier Becerra, excuse me.
It's Javier Becerra. Now, anyone can mispronounce a name. I do it. Anyone can do that. But he also misspoke about Mr. Becerra's title. He's a Health and Human Services Director, not Health and Education. Now, Mr. Biden was reading off a teleprompter. He wasn't doing what I do. I'm just talking to you now. I don't have a teleprompter. And he doesn't even know what Mr. Becerra's job is, even though he's announcing his appointment. Ooh. And I suspect we will see this many, many times, but not as many times as we could if Mr. Biden were to make himself available, which he will not. So once the inauguration takes place, you're not going to see much of Joe. Not going to be around because of stuff like this. So let me tell you just a little bit about Becerra. He's the Attorney General of California, 62 years old. This was the worst thing that he did in his tenure. And basically California now is anarchy there. So that's a real good record to build upon. In February 2019, Becerra filed a lawsuit to try to prevent Donald Trump from building the border wall. So Becerra wants open borders. He wants as many people to come in. And of course, open borders leads to an influx of dangerous criminals because they're just part of the crew that walks across the border. So this is Javier Becerra, a ridiculous appointment, but he checks the boxes, and it's all Biden cares about. Now, there are right-wing people that say, well, Biden's in there, but they're going to get him out by the 25th Amendment, which says, quote, that Congress can create a body which, working with the Vice President of the United States, that would be Kamala Harris, can remove a president, quote, deemed to be unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office. Now, that has never happened in the history of this country, but I, your humble correspondent, know it very well because it almost happened to Ronald Reagan. Now, you remember, maybe, that when I wrote the book Killing Reagan, part of it was that after President Reagan was shot and almost killed, this close, that his physical and mental capabilities declined as they would in any human being. But he was still president, and he was still carrying out his duties. He didn't hand it over to Bush the elder. Ronald Reagan was still president. There were days when he could not do his job. There was talk, and we document it in Killing Reagan, that maybe the 25th Amendment might have to be explored, just explored. Now, in Killing Reagan, we document that Ronald Reagan made perhaps the best comeback of any politician in the history of the world. It was truly a miracle, in my opinion. I believe in miracles, because he recovered so dramatically from his near fatal wound. It was like staggering. But it took him a couple of months. And during that time, there was a lot of turbulence. Now, when I wrote that, George Will, a blatantly intellectually dishonest man, went crazy and said I was a liar and this, that, and the other thing. Even though we documented all the people who said it, all the people who were there in the meetings. I mean, it was documented. And the Reagan Library wouldn't carry the book, Killing Reagan, because of that. Now, I'm only telling you this because the 25th Amendment is not going to be used against Joe Biden. It's not. Okay? Because the Democratic Party wants him in the Oval Office because he'll rubber stamp anything because he doesn't even know what's happening. Some of the time, anyway. I can't say all the time, but some of the time. They don't want Kamala Harris in there. Harris, she could do anything. Okay, so that's Joe Biden not knowing about his appointment. By the way, in addition to Becerra, John Kerry is the new green environmental global warming something. 76 years old. Kerry, I don't know. What can you say about him? But he's the climate guy. All right. Big expense account. Fly to private jets all over. Private jets with the gas. Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. As you all know, the dollar is at a 10-year low, and November could spell real trouble. That's why I recommend you consider physical gold and silver, and the only company I do business with in this area is American Hartford Gold. You can call them right now. Make sure you tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you a free gold coin on your first qualified order. Since I have been recommending American Hartford Gold, gold's up over 40%, silver over 60%. So please don't wait. Call them now. 877-444-GOLD Gold. 877-444-GOLD Gold, or text GOLD to 65532.